Set now for the $15,000 to win Australian Open. This is the final of 3 World Series Sprint Cars events this weekend at Archerfield International Speedway. Excellent crowd. Look at that field and look at the guns you've got in the top 8 there. Green, Fraser, Rush, Kading, nearest our camera. You've got Terry McCall by the looks of things in the CR&D 77. Best Queenslander here this weekend is Andrew Shirley in the Lucas Oils Maxim. Brooke Tatnall starts out at position 8. Missing the dash, that's unusual for Brooke. We're set for a start at Archerfield International Speedway, round 14 of the $500,000 World Series Sprint Cars. Rush and Fraser square up on the front row. Tatnall to the outside of Jackson, picks up Shirley as well. Big move. Look at Fraser's brakes already. They are red hot. Plenty of stab and steer here at Archerfield. It's a hooky little bull ring. Doesn't appear that way from our camera position. Looks quite big, believe me. In person, it's not. Brent Lacey to the right of the screen, trying to make a move on Danny Smith. Here is Brooke going after Trevor Green. Back in the field, a lot of moves being made. There is Lacey on the outside of Danny Smith. Nathan McDonald is back in there as well. Here is Trevor Green, Adrad, Freightmaster, Road and Track Dyno, number 4. Brooke Tatnall in behind him. And Andrew Shirley, young Queenslander, the first man from his state to win a World Series Sprint Car round earlier this season. It happened in the opening round, as a matter of fact, at Kalgoorlie. On the main straight, Jackson peppering away at the left rear. All trouble for Lacey. He's gone in hard. The front end has been torn completely out. Of course, sprint cars these days are designed to come apart in that particular area to absorb the impact, and you can virtually replace the front end complete in a matter of minutes. And you can see Lacey receiving a little bit of medical attention to check he's A-OK. Probably gathering up his breath. 3 deep breaths become very shallow when you stick it in the wall. At the speed you reach around Archerfield, Gary Fraser in command. Restart, Kading to the outside of Rush. Out of 4, well, Rushy closed up the real estate, if you can call it that was previously there when Kading came out of the turn. As a result, he's gone high. Trevor Green, the South Aussie, looking to be the opportunist. Very different main wing settings there. Kading runs his wing very flat and very forward. Trevor Green's way forward and plenty of down angle. Look at Fraser. Well, he's got the main wing further back over the top of the cage towards the rear of the car. And what it's doing is it's making a lot of drive on the rear end, a lot of weight there, but not a lot of weight transfer on the front end. That's why you see the front end very light, and a few good wheelies from Fraser, even halfway down the straight. What Fraser's car is doing, though, is it's driving hard off the left rear wheel. And that means it's going forward. There is Trevor Green, Brooke Tatnall, Andrew Shirley. Here comes Skip, moving his way through now. Underneath Andrew Shirley. They come out of turn number 4. Well, Kading's car is very tight at the moment. The car in our shot right there, pushing deep into the corners. He runs the low side this time on Rush, who seems to be playing the percentage game at the moment, running right through the middle. Track is in really good shape. It's starting to slick off a little now through the middle. You can see it's starting to get a little dusty in that ridge right there where Tatnall is. Jackson trying to go after Green, who is down the bottom. Not many guys running upstairs, as it were. Trevor Green gets a push, and that's all that Skip Jackson needs. Let's look at Gary Fraser's car once more. Look at the lead up his sleeve. Well, when the big money's on hand, Gary Fraser is generally in the pit area somewhere with the Australia 1 car. The Gillian Associates Shell Helix number 8 of Brooke Tatnall. Well, remember a couple of weekends ago we saw these two go at it at Archerfield, and here we go again. Skip. Not very often you see Skip pick the front wheels up. The reason for that is he's very smooth with the throttle, but he got an enormous fight coming out of turn number 2. It upset the model a bit. Back in the field, a couple of Queenslanders in the form of Jensen and McComb, and Fraser starting to lap traffic now. Look at the way the car's set, driving hard off that left rear. Brakes, yep, still red hot. Fluoro orange disc, you can see towards the back of the car near the left rear. Rush is still in second. Kading above the cushion in third. The Californian, a 10-time NARC sprint car champion. Above the cushion then, got himself some ground and gave Brooke Tatnall a sniff. Brooke's got to be careful here. He's got Skip Jackson right in behind as we go yellow. Danny Smith has come to a rest against the wall in turn number 4. Restart now, Gary Brazier weathering the storm that is Gary Rush on every restart. And Brazier seems to be doing it quite easy just at the moment. Good field of cars still back in the field. Now that is Dean McComb driving the Reeve Truck Titan Garages car. Rushy sitting down low, so is Kading in behind him. Brook even lower on the track, going for the move on Kading. Squares him up. Kading will try and stab the brakes. Gee, lost 2 spots and gets a nasty push. Well, BK won't be happy with that little result. Goes up high. In fact, the car looks very unsettled, so any sort of rhythm that Kading had going has gone out the window. Skip now. Starts to work over the left rear of the Shell Helix Schnee of Brooke Tatnall. Of course, up ahead, you've got 15,000 reasons to push that little harder. Rush starting to come back, and Brazier now. Well, this is quite a remarkable story between these two. Gary Brazier's dad, Steve Brazier, is one of Gary Rush's arch rivals. The two are friends and have a healthy respect for each other, Gary Jr. and Gary Rush. However, Gary Brazier and Gary Rush I'm talking about, well, they take rivalry to new heights, those two, even though remarkably, Gary Brazier was named after Gary Rush. Out of turn number 2, Skip works low on Tatnall. Still can't quite pull it off. Talk about your second generation races. There's another one, Brooke Tatnall. He's won some races at this particular track. It's always been kind to him. Skip Jackson, the defending World Series Sprintcars champion, the defending Knoxville track champion. And it's been really unstoppable in this series. The only man who's done it consistently has been Brooke, who's caused him the grief. Trevor Green has been up there when it's counted, but has not been able to make the money. Look at Skip again. The car just got a little loose coming out of the turn. Now, Brooke, oh, look at that. Talking of loose, Skip gets very sideways and buzzes the tyres. He won't be happy with that at all. Now, Brazier, meanwhile, has cleared away. And Brooke Tatnall's thinking, I'm going to get past Rush. I'm going to get a move on if I'm going to catch the race leader. Terry McCall going infield with some problems in the 77 CR&D car. Brooke Tatnall goes out after Rush. There's McCall from Iowa going to the infield. Well, Brooke's starting to work over Gary Rush now. He's been in this situation a few times. And likewise, Gary Rush has really raced against so many second generation races in his career. Raced for many years against George Tatnall. Now son Brooke is in the hot seat, peppering away at the undisputed king of sprint car racing. Brooke, once again having a look at Rush, who seems to just sink down a little in the seat then as if to say, no you don't. Slick spot there. Brooke's got a push. Here comes Skip Jackson back again. Well, Skip is relentless, isn't he? Look at him working the bottom. You recall a couple of weeks ago, Brooke called him the gutter rat because he runs the bottom so much better than anyone else. Brazier has cleared away. This battle between Rush, Tatnall and Jackson will allow him to get more room. Skip again, down low. Brooke crafty with the throttle, just trying to hold that spot out. Rush even lower than Jackson and Tatnall. And all the while he's looking up track thinking, how can I peg this kid back from Granville? Only lives a couple of minutes from his home track in Parramatta City Raceway. Is expected to go back and run with the Mopar team in the USA very shortly is Brazier. A return to the ranks for him. Or Rush, just by being smooth and playing the percentages game, has not really allowed Brooke Tatnall any latitude at all. Now Brooke has had to push extra hard. You saw the result of that then. He went above the cushion, the car bobbled, got unsettled. Look at Brazier. If you look carefully, he's running very low tyre pressure on that left rear. Sometimes they run as low as 4 to 5 pound in those tyres, trying to give as much surface area of the tyre on the track at any given time. And you can see the Brazier's car is set very nicely. Rush's car is predictable too, but this car is going forward. Gary Brazier, he's got a couple of lap cars between himself and Rush now. Jackson diving down low. Brooke, oh, Jackson got Rush in the blink of an eye. The little bloke who looks more like a chemistry student than a sprint car driver has certainly come up with the formula for a winning pass there. He's up in a second. Brooke Tatnall kicking it in very aggressively in turn 1, using the cushion. Watch him here, going hard above Rush. Well, Gary's gone down low and Brooke just sized him up. How your fortunes can change in 3 or 4 laps in sprint car racing. The track changes, your setup either comes to the track or it goes away from it. And Skip Jackson, has he got time to run down Brazier? certainly if you're a betting man, you wouldn't exactly have the house on it at the moment. Frazier's got a commanding lead up his sleeve, and I think time will be the enemy of Skip, if anything is. Brooke puts a lap down on Danny Smith. Just up ahead is the Craftsman Homes car. Rush moving Danny Smith aside. The many years those two have raced together. Could be coming up on a checkered flag very soon. Frazier putting a lap down on Dean McComb, who graciously moves out of the way when the lapping flag comes out. Look at Frazier though. Seems to be doing it easy. Look at his arms. It's almost like he's in slow motion. Just too easy. There's Jackson in the second spot. Tatnall in third, Rush in fourth. And the four big trump cards of sprint car racing, minus of course Max Dumsney, winning this at will in terms of the battle for the top four. And Frazier just cruising around here. Watch his left arm going into this turn. Look at that. It's so easy for him. Very natural and gifted racer. At times extremely controversial. 1 lap left to go. I think that might have been the white flag. So Frazier will romp to victory and bank $15,000 in the Australian Open at Archerfield International Speedway, and in doing so win round 14 of the World Series Sprint Cars. Convincing win from him from Skip Jackson in second, Brooke Tatnall in third, Gary Rush back to Trevor Green. I think it might have been Andrew Shirley back there in the field as well. But Braz comes good, as his father before him. He certainly is a talent. Driving the Steve Frazier tune, number 1 car, he romped the victory at Archerfield.